I think it's a great initiative. I love the fact that there's no longer an excuse. Nobody can make any excuse about littering anymore. There's a bin here, there's a bin there, there's a bin 40 feet from each other. I also love the fact that they're not just putting the bin down and just leaving it. Every single day, they're emptying the bins twice a day, in the morning and in the night. So that works well too. I really hope that Guyanese take this as
the desperation of the People's Progressive Party civic government, along with the new Minister of Local Government, Minister Priya Manik Chan, to get a cookie for doing good work, has clearly backfired on them. Because I know this People's Progressive Party civic government that has run this country for 28 out of the past 33 years didn't just today, in 2025, figured out that in central Georgetown, the capital city of Guyana, the fastest growing economy, which houses the central office for CARICOM, now they realize that they needed to put down bins in central Georgetown. And they want to make it a spectacle because now they decide to put down bins in central Georgetown. That now they have famous influencers in the one Mula, along with our by Professor Moore, basically throwing the government a cookie for doing something that is supposed to be a no-brainer. This government is so desperate to spread a narrative that they're actually doing work, when the number one issue they do not want to even hear about. They don't want to speak about that. Government of Guyana, People's Progressive Party Civic, Minister of Local Government, Ms. Priya Manik Chan, this is something that is the responsibility of government, along with the mayor and town council, the mayor and city council. This is not, y'all didn't invent the wheel. All over the world, in less developed countries than Guyana, all over the world, in countries that are way poorer than Guyana, the people have bins on every corner. Now you guys, PPP, that have run this country from 1992 to 2015, a collective of 23 years, now back in office from 2020, to 2025, in the fastest growing economy with the highest gross domestic product earning per capita. PPP, I should be black shame to make a spectacle of this. You guys should have placed bins there back in 2010, 2005. You guys never cared about the city of Georgetown and you've just exposed yourself. You guys just exposed yourself in your desperate attempt to garner some kind of traction or momentum or to praise yourself for doing the obvious. You men just expose your incompetence. Now imagine big influencers like Miss Mula, big influencers like Professor Moore, because I saw him too, along with a bunch of the One Guyana affiliates and cohorts and slacktivists, and some people that may just be misinformed. And when Guyanese people get a camera pushed in their face, they try to say the politically correct thing, praising the government for a no-brainer. Man, Priya Manik Chan, didn't you know this was supposed to be done? What was Minister Sonia Parag doing? This woman, Sonia Parag, the former Minister of Local Government, had to be some kind of a waste or a negligent person. She had to be a waste in that department. Now they took her out from there. Miss Sonia Parag, who didn't know in her 5 years in the Ministry of Local Government that we should put bins down in central Georgetown, the capital city that houses the CARICOM Secretariat. You telling me Miss Sonia Parag didn't know that? Guyanese brothers and sisters, can't you see these people are desperate? All because they know that they have this country running backwards. The people in Linden right now have been experiencing no water shortages for the past week. The people in Blueberry Hill, the people in Half Mile, the people in Block 22, all over, it's no water in the pipe. And this government, the Ministry of Local Government, so desperate to seem as if they're working and they're competent, are praising themselves for putting down bins? After you've ran the country for 28 out of the past 33 years PPP, don't you see the backwardness in this? Just imagine they continue to conform everything that we say. They are running Guyana like a third world country, like a low-down country, and they're treating a large population, a large number of the population in Guyana as if they're non-Guyanese, as if they're refugees, that they have neglected the capital city, all in the name of politics, because in the past couple of years, we would have had new people that would have been in the position of mayor, Mr. Alfred Mentor and Mr. Ubrat Singh. And PPP, y'all gonna continue to do this nonsense and embarrass yourselves like this. Now y'all want praises for putting down bin in central Georgetown, in the capital city, Well, brothers and sisters in the diaspora, in the Caribbean, and by extension the United States of America, Canada, Europe, and all of these places, Guyanese brothers and sisters that are listening to me now. If it took them so long to put down bins in the capital city, imagine what is going on in the outskirts community. The outskirts community, the MNTC have been starved and marginalized just like they did Linden. If you guys, my brothers and sisters that are looking in and listening to me and would have seen this spectacle that the Ministry of Local Governments tried to make of putting bins down in central Georgetown, a no-brainer, even though they've ran the country for the past 28 years, if you guys can come to Linden now, go to certain places in New Amsterdam, go to certain communities, Albistown, and all of these neglected, marginalized communities, and they are many, and see what they're doing there. See if they have bins in those communities. See if the gutters are clean. See if the drains are clean. See if the cities are irrigated. Look at the people's houses as you go. Look at the roof. See if the houses are maintained. People still got bricks on the roofs to hold on the zinc in the Cooperative Republic of Guyana. Come to Linden and you will see. People still have no fence around their yards in the Cooperative Republic of Guyana, the fastest growing economy. People still have no gates on their fence in the Cooperative Republic of Guyana. This is many people, entire communities. This government is an oppressive regime, and they are running this country selling perception. And when Transparency International came, pointed out their corruption, giving them a 38 out of 100 for corruption, they tried to say that they're running the country on perception. And Mr. President says, whose perception? But whose perception are they running this country on today? When you guys clearly heard it, they now, after running the country for 28 years, finally decided to put bins in the city of Georgetown, all in the name of politics. Because as you guys know, in the last local government, in the last election, the APNU would have given them the vote in Georgetown, and they won Georgetown. This is why they finally decided to put some bins down. This is just to tell you, the PPP is a wicked government. They run the country on perception. They marginalize and oppress and subjugate whoever they think do not support them because they may have a leader that they perceive to be opposition leader, and the proof is in the pudding. So PPP, in your desperate attempt to show that you're doing work, to sell our perception and script a narrative to our brothers and sisters in the diaspora, you guys have exposed yourself. You expose your corruption, your marginalization, your wickedness, your totalitarianism. Because this is what you guys do. Come to Linden. You guys have the people living through blackouts in Linden. 5 days out of the week you get them blackout for hours at a time. You have the people living with no water in the pipe. I haven't gotten water in my pipe for days. And then on the weekends, you cut off the pipe the entire weekend. How people are supposed to tidy their children, clean up their houses, and then you guys try to script these type of narratives, PPP. Just imagine, gold, diamond, emerald, topaz, whatever are the precious stone. We have timber, Wallabon, Mora, Simarupa, green art, purple are the most expensive wood. We got bauxite. The people just made 214% increase in bauxite. We have the $1 trillion oil sector, PPP government. We have the agriculture sector. We got the sand quarry. We have the stone quarry, PPP government. You guys are taxing us and have been taxing us higher than 40 cents on every dollar in the public service. And only now People's Progressive Party Civic, you finally decide to do your job and put some bins in the community, PPP. And you guys are so desperate that you want to make a spectacle of that. Let the facts show, brothers and sisters, nothing has changed under this government. It's gotten harder for most people. Mothers are still fanning their children with paper because it's blackout. People still got to go to creek and springs to fetch water. People still cut and contriving on water in the land of many waters and the PPP scripting narratives. Well, I hope that you guys can see it clear and read between the lines, because Ms. Manik-Chan, who was the Minister of Education, who have left multiple schools in a substandard state with toilets that are not flushing, the plumbing is garbage, and Miss Sonia Parag, that has left the Ministry of Local Government and had no bins in the community, they have just simply swapped places to come over to other ministries to basically continue the same dysfunction of spreading narratives, speaking over the heads of Guyanese, while 45% live at the poverty line, and they continue to enrich themselves by dining on the backs of the Guyanese brothers and sisters, and weaponizing our brothers and sisters wittingly or unwittingly against us. This is an Eternity Enterprise presentation. Guyanese brothers and sisters, could you guys explain to me how it is that the 4th FPSO, which was called Guyana, that does not belong to our country, raised our wage bill to $6 billion US. How does the FPSO, the fourth FPSO that is now extracting 240,000 barrels of oil every single day, that we, the Guyanese people, Guyana, is only getting 2% royalties from and 12.5% profit sharing from after ExxonMobil recoups 75% cost recovery? How does that FPSO raise Guyana's import bill to $6 billion US? I'm trying to figure out if the government of Guyana, if the PPP has a kind of rent-to-own agreement with ExxonMobil. But the way this financial report is written, brothers and sisters, it's even confusing to me. Why can these men write financial reports in simpler languages? Because they don't want for us to understand. The People's Progressive Party Civic continue to misquander in debt in our country as great governance. They continue to borrow loans, borrow money, take money from this account, in-debt the country, but yet still it does not stop any of the problems in this country. We are still living through blackouts. For the past 5 days for the past week, we have had just about no water coming through the pipes. The people are still living in rundown houses, substandard infrastructure being done in many communities in this country, but yet still the PPP continue to indebt our country. So as we try to repay our debt to service the loans that we repay, the PPP still continue to somehow manage to further inflate our import bill. Now let's read the article. And for the scintillate minds, the financial minds, you guys are going to have to try to make sense of this for me. Because these men continue to sell us dreams while they live the dreams, and they indebt our children, our next and our first and our second and our third generation with their type of governance. Now let's read. This is a Kaichor News report. The fourth FPSO pushed Guyana's import bill to almost $6 billion US mid-2025. Less than US 920 million earned from non-oil exports. Less than 920 million US earned, we getting that. But our bill is $6 billion US. We've only earned 920 million US. I want you to ask yourself, when are we going to ever be able to finish paying debt? And if this government continue to borrow and borrow and borrow the way they're borrowing, at some point, our country is going to go through terrible hardship. If this government don't fix this, with the shortage of US dollars, our currency is being inflated consistently. If you guys don't wake up and try to learn what's going on. So I want the minds that can understand this, explain this to us. Guyana's total import bill for the first 6 months of 2025 was almost $6 billion US, largely due to the new floating production, storage and offloading vessel that has arrived to develop the resources in the fourth oil project Yellowtail. This is according to the mid-year report recently published by the Ministry of Finance. The document explained import payments stood at $5.8 million at the end of the first half of the year, growing by 81% when compared with the corresponding 2024 position. The report states that the increased import bill was mainly a result of an expansion in the importation of capital goods, which rose by 185% to US 3.8 million and accounted for 95% of the overall increase. Notably, a significant portion of this increase can be attributed to the importation of the Guyana FPSO, which valued 2.5 million US, the document revealed. Additionally, Guyana also recorded a 24.5% increase in the importation of goods for consumption during the period, which totaled US 616 million. Within this, the imports of other durables, motor cars, fuel for final consumption, and other non-durable goods increased by 34.1 million. US 28.5 million, US 21.5 million, and US 20.6 million respectively. In contrast, the importation of intermediate goods declined by 0.7% to US 1.3 million, mainly on account of fuel and lubricants falling by US 51.7 million, the report stated. Now, could you guys tell me, how could this FPSO that they calling One Guyana raise our import bill by 81% to 6 billion US dollars, and it doesn't belong to us? Can you tell me how that is? So now you guys can see for a fact, we are not only now allegedly paying ExxonMobil's taxes, but we are indeed, like our brother Mr. Glenn Lal has been saying, we are basically paying for the investments that ExxonMobil is investing. The other day they built the headquarters at 61 million US dollars, higher or lower, and we have to pay for that. Now the One Guyana so-called FPSO, which we are only getting 2% royalty from, 12.5% profit sharing in that one-sided deal that screwed Guyana in every room in the house that the PPP swore that they were going to renegotiate. But now our debt has continued to rise. Now I want you to ask yourself, how is it that this country Guyana, with all of these cash resources, just imagine if we separate gold, gold is supposed to have enough money so that we can fix a lot of the problems in this country by itself. So does timber, so does oil, so does diamonds and our precious stone, so does the bauxite. But yet still, our import bill continues to go up and up and up, which has further inflated our dollar, which makes our dollar as less value when we go to the counter. This is why you see, I continue to say, the government has done nothing for the Guyanese public if they do not fix the main issue in this country of compensation for competence. Our money continues to stay small even though our dollar is being inflated, even though cost of living continues to go up, because as our dollar value becomes less, import becomes more. The business sector has to pay more of our dollars to import goods, which is going to just further take the prices up. And this is the problem we are having with One Guyana, because they want to live the dreams while they continue to sell us dreams and continue to sell out our country while simultaneously indebt us. Now for the bright minds, the financial minds, you guys are going to have to tell me, because this is as clear as day to me. If our import bill raised 80% and higher, just ask yourself, where are we heading really? Is our debt being serviced? Are our debts being eradicated in the fastest growing economy? Or are we further being indebted? And where in history have we ever seen anybody, any business, any country indebt itself, consistently raise debts, and the country got better or the business got better? Have you ever seen that? When all of our money that we are earning is from borrowing loans and from the sellout or basic giveaway of our patrimony. Brothers and sisters, it's time to address the elephant in the room. The PPP government are proven clear incompetence, and they're proven to be oppressors and totalitarians, because while they borrow, they enjoy the money, they live the dream, while they continue to sell you dreams, while your children continue to struggle, and it is only going to get worse until we start demanding better and asking for real answers to real problems. This is an Eternity Enterprise presentation. Y'all stay safe.